So I came across this as a YouTube recommendation from a YouTube channel called Ulysses of Iriu. I'll go with that. I think I've covered this particular channel before. From the short amount of vids that I've seen of him, the individual, I think at least in part he's waking up to a sort of occultist aspect of what's going on. But that would be fair, yeah. But under fair use, now I find when you try and expand, it's just like they're not, well, slightly. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's about a guy called apparently Stephen Bedford, right? Now, this individual is apparently an activist, very pro-immigration into Ireland, blah, 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 whatever. And apparently a couple of years ago, this individual man who live streamed himself driving Jeep into anti-immigration protester jailed for 16 months. Right now, the original incident was back in February of 2023, and he'd apparently turned up as a response to anti-immigration protesters, and I think he was supposed to be strapped with carrying a large backpack with a speaker and a microphone. Anyway, apparently at some stage the Gardaí said, "Hey, look, it's maybe an idea if you head on your way." And rather than just get into his vehicle, do a U-turn, all the rest of it, he decided to drive into, well, you could argue what he saw was his perceived enemy. I mean, it wasn't like, apparently wasn't very fast. It wasn't like, and just tearing into a crowd. But, and after obviously quite a time, he was out in bail, he was, but let me see, where am I looking? Yeah, he got jailed for 16 months on the 27th of March 2025, roughly. So, like less than 3 months ago, yeah? And with that in mind, let me play under fair use this following clip, stopping occasionally. So these are migrant tents, yeah? And I've said, I noticed recently, good God, in Edinburgh, a couple, three at least, had popped up in Seafield Road. That was my previous video. And unfortunately, I could not stop because it's quite a busy road. But look at this. And it is this guy, because when you look at it, you just saw the tash, the moustache. Yeah, it is that guy, from what I can see, yeah. Apparently, his defense, in amongst various other things, had said that this guy had some health condition that was on the upper end of the scale of concern, from what I read. But I'll repeat, he seems to be this pro-immigration activist and, very focused, obviously. And, he was put away less than 3 months ago for 16 months, yeah? But this guy, whoever he is, because I don't know if the YouTuber that we're looking at here did the vid. I think this is more of a share. I could be completely wrong, and if you watch it, and you're watching this, I apologise. But yeah, think about this.
Look who it is. Look who it is. He's got backpack. Stephen Backpack. Stephen Backpack. Look at it. Huh?
Now, if you weren't the guy, you'd be like, hey, no, I'm not whoever you're thinking, blah, blah, blah. Just, yeah.
What's up, Stephen? Stephen Backpack. Where you going? Where you going, Stephen? Where you going, Stephen? Huh?
body language and everything tells me he's a change agent. Yeah. I'd say. Seriously. Who obviously, let's be honest, must, well, have more access to the legal system to his benefit than most. Because if you've been jailed for 16 months and yet you're out in less than 3, and, well, who knows how many days before he was seen. In amongst, yet again, migrants and migrant tents and all the rest of it. You've just got, look, I've always said these people are in on the ground, like, absolutely focused. And there is an ideology on the go. And it really is anti... I mean, let's be honest, if you care about your country and all the rest of it, you would be at the very least saying a couple of things in which we should have been more enthusiastic about it years ago. Homelessness. Because we certainly know in the last few years they could have resolved it immediately. At a fraction of the price of... Yeah, thanks for that, Bella. The deliberately uncontrolled immigration going on just now. So for a fraction of the price of what is constantly being paid by the day, they could have resolved all homelessness like that. Bang. But nobody was really nobody, was really being an activist about any of that. I mean, right through the decades, you could argue longer. You've had Salvation Army, you've had various groups and all the rest of it. But have you noticed it's never ever bloody changed, really? But when it came to dinghy surfers and all the rest of it, hey, we've got hotels, we've got this, we've got first in the queue for health, services of all kinds, and job prospects and everything else, bang, 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 bang. And we could have dealt with homelessness. We now know this, and for a fraction of the cost of what's being spent daily now. Yeah. But remember, for people that by and large we knew of, homeless people from in their native countries. Yeah? No doubts about shenanigans with different points of view and all the rest of it and different cultures. Bang. We could have dealt with homelessness overnight. Yeah? But a guy that drives into a crowd, not fast apparently according to what's written, but enough to, potentially damage somebody. They did drive into an anti-immigration protester. The individual did get 16 months, but is out apparently in less than 3. And we've definitely, without any shadow of a doubt, got a weaponized justice system. There's no two doubts about it, seriously. Some women say some hurty words that she took down in less than a fucking hour get something like nearly 3 years. Yeah? And you could give other examples, and yet you've got guys who apparently live stream deliberately running somebody over who could have just, by the Garda's own words, could have just turned round. Yeah. Live streamed it. Gets 16 months and he's out in less than 3. Which part of this did we miss that he's got? Well, look, the data certainly suggests that there's a high probability he's a change agent. And the confidence of going to the Guardian, like, hi, fab. I mean, unfortunately in this vid you see 2 buses pass. I'd love to have seen more of the interaction between the Guardian and him. And apparently he must have some wee pal coming that comes along with him as well.
Stephen, look at it. What's up, Stephen? Stephen, where you go? Where you go, Stephen? Where you go, Stephen? Huh? Where you go, Stephen?
Everything about the body language says this individual's as confident as fuck of getting the problem resolved. The problem in this instance is a guy who keeps asking him, hey, Stephen, hey,
Where you go, Stephen? Country's hot for you, Stephen.
It's not threatening him. He's just obviously got a phone or, whatever and said, hey, Stephen, hey, well, and because the guy must be questioning, how the hell is this guy out? He got 16 months. He's out in less than 3. And he's back doing what he believes is for the righteousness.
Country's hot
See, second boss. And he obviously has this wee friend with him. Is it part of the network? You know, another activist, blah, blah, blah. I mean, remember, God almighty. Nothing historically happens by accident. You know? Seriously. When it comes to destabilisation and all the rest of it, they're absolutely in on the ground. There's no two doubts about it. Now, as I'll repeat, this guy apparently has some health condition. Maybe he believes he's going to expire in the next year or two, and he's doing what he believes for some belief system or some obligation to some occult system. I mean, let's face it, the guy's 38, and if you told me he was 58, I'd have fucking believed you. Yeah? I mean, they were just straight out, no problem, blah, blah, blah. Now watch the body language of this guy. Hey, how are you? Now he's chatty. Hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then the guardie stopped this guy, whoever it is, with the camera. Hey, what are you doing? And remember, it's only a matter of time before you start seeing that getting rolled out in Edinburgh. Yeah? There's no mistake that just this, whoever Labour fucking minister, blah, 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 suddenly meaned homelessness, you know, no legal matter, blah, 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 which I covered recently. But yeah, it's all by design. All by design. But you've got to have sort of troops on the ground, making sure that this... Because remember, it's by design, so they want it to expand, to normalise all this. Yeah? It is part and parcel of the destruction of the West. The apathy is astounding. It's truly astounding. You're antagonising people. How the fuck is a guy that's been put away for 16 months out in less than 3? And look, these fuckers think on their feet. It'll be everything from compassionate, whatever, you know, the guy had some health condition, whatever else. But is that usually the form for others? Really? Seriously? Think about this. Yeah?
Sorry, there's more than one person. There's more than me. I'm not here on my own. There's other people here. I'm only asking Steve back a few questions. I seen you. I was here when you were parked there and been standing here talking to the migrants. I'll show you all my videos. I've been here that.
Anyway, good God, even talking about these things, remember, what was it, Starmer said, well, we are proud of the amount of free speech that we have in the UK. It's a free speech, you know. But, and I'm just that, I have very little knowledge on the background of this guy, but for what I'm reading, he's, you know, NGO type activist, etc., blah, blah, blah. Remember, 16 months, and he is definitely out, apparently, in less than 3. And back to doing what he was doing before. Yeah? Which is, well, the encouragement of tent cities. Come on! Seriously, work it out. Your thoughts, your shares. A few thumbs up, and I'll speak to you soon.